they do these rituals. And so a mass creation of this energy, a mass version of this ritual, we call wars. We call credit crunches and banking collapses because of all the stress and fear energy that is released by the people in the face of these things. So on one level, it's not the only reason they do it, but on one level, they're manipulating these fearful, stress-creating, terror-creating events to actually elicit an energy, low vibrational energy from the people.
So it's not just that they're evil and enjoy it, it is a psychic war and they're polluting everything with gloom and doom.
Yeah, they're bringing see, as I said earlier, they are massively locked into low vibrational consciousness. There is almost no light there at all, and that's why they act like they do. We've had this age-old theme, Alex, through the centuries and thousands of years, right across the world in ancient accounts about the soulless ones. That's what we're talking about. And Christians would talk about demonic entities. And the Muslims would talk about the jinns and stuff. These are all different names for the same thing we're talking about here.
Well, I've talked to top psychologists who study the serial killers, and they describe it as if they're dead. They have no emotion, nothing in life, but there's like a burning light. They only feel alive while they're torturing a child, while they're doing something particularly horrible, and so they become total slaves to it.
Yeah, and they're also slaves to something else. They're slaves to these entities. Now, this is another important thing to start connecting some dots here. Why is this human elite obsessed with interbreeding? Because with each other and not breeding outside of itself. Because if you really break it down to the level that we're talking about today, Alex.
Well, the Egyptians said they were gods, and they had to keep that bloodline in the family.
Yeah, but what's the obsession with bloodline? It is this:
keeping the money together.
When you procreate, you are in effect downloading two hard drives called DNA and whatever onto one hard drive, which we call the new child body computer. The child is consciousness. The child's body is a computer like everyone else. Now, that means that these bloodlines, when they interbreed, what they're holding is, in effect, a software program, a certain vibrational field, which is the fusion of the two aspects of the same genetic line, i.e. the same, aristocracy or royal family, whatever. Now, this means... Hello?
No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this means that the elite bloodlines in physical form within this reality, they are vibrating to a particular frequency which, because it's a hybrid, has a vibrational sympathy with these entities operating just outside of visible light, human sight. And therefore, that vibrational connection allows these particular bloodlines to be possessed, another ancient theme right up to the present day, by these entities much more powerfully and efficiently in terms of controlling their mental and emotional processes than they can with the rest of the population. And so this is the key, Alex. You've got a human bloodline, which is a hybrid bloodline with a certain type of DNA, which they interbreed incessantly and have over the centuries to hold. This allows a vibrational connection with these entities, which allows the possession of these human forms by these non-human entities. And then you've got the secret society network, which manipulates these human elite bloodlines that we talk constantly about into the positions of power, and indeed their gophers into the positions of power. And what we're actually doing is putting these entities into those positions of power. But because we look at them with our 5-sense sight, we decode only the human level, so that's all we see. But if you could tease out your visual acuity and see a wider range of frequencies as you look at these people, you would see anything but a human entity overshadowing it. This is how they've done it. This is what these bloodlines are about, having vibrational compatibility with these entities which they worship, these gods that they worship.
Well, Well, and I know the elite believes that. When I was at Bohemian Grove, people could say, oh, it's just a play. I was there with 1,000+ members watching the ritual. They were grinding their teeth. They were in religious rapture. They did some other ritual over behind the trees that was the real ritual, and they did the mock human sacrifice of the child, and that's in their own literature. Now Macy's has come out with all of this Bohemian Grove, the Knights of the Illuminati, 666, the Hell Group. I mean, now they're really throwing it in our face. And we always know that through the popular fashions, they telegraph what's coming in the future. Why are we seeing all the skulls and death and now Illuminati clothing?
Yeah, because, they understand, because they are so entrapped in computer-level reality, they understand this stadium. And so what they're doing is trying to pull all the time, as we talked about in this chat today, they're trying to pull humanity into a sense of reality that operates in the same stadium.
And that's what the Roman Colosseums were all about, in the blood and death. Yeah,
I tell you what, Alex, they are absolutely terrified of this awakening, which they knew was coming and they know is now here. They're terrified of it, and they're desperately pushing this agenda forward, not least the microchip, because the real idea of the microchip, yes, it's for electronic tagging, and the computer knows where everyone is, yes. But I've been given chapter and verse by a CIA scientist about this, many years ago now, 10 years in fact, 1997, 98. The idea is to hijack the body computer through the microchip, so they can externally manipulate us vibrationally, physically, mentally, and emotionally from a distance, either en masse or isolating us as individuals. And the reason that there's many reasons for the same thing, but a major reason for wanting a world DNA database is because we all vibrate, although we vibrate within certain frequency range, we all vibrate on our own unique signal as well. And if you know someone's DNA through the technology they have, they can work out that unique signal and target it. It's all the whole conspiracy kind of comes down to in the end, and everything else is playing it out.
Well, we knew that from the Army plan that was written up in the 80s, declassified in 2000 in February. We know in there that the Army says that through fads, through security, through prisoners, through Alzheimer's patients, and through having law enforcement be forced to take chips, they could then force the public to do it. And now if you want to be a fighter pilot, you're going to have it. That's openly mainstream news. They are preparing the public that if you want to have a job, you're going to have basically this little wire port into your brain. And the Army says that by 2025, all of us will be, this is what they say, and this is where the movie The Matrix came from, was from the DARPA reports. And this is in my book, Descent into Tyranny. They say that they're going to put us all in tanks to be in the hive mind. So that movie is the plan.
Well, the hive mind is something I've been writing about for a long time, and you can only put people, because, when I talk about, infinite consciousness, I'm not talking about everyone being a clone and acting the same. Infinite consciousness is infinite possibilities.
Yeah, tied into the bigger picture, not into the narrow band. But David, my point is, you're not just saying this. The official Army prospectus says this is the plan for full spectrum dominance, because there'll be no more war. We'll all be safe if we're in these tanks. You can't make stuff up that weird. And then last year, the British 10-year prospectus talked about having a neutron bomb, us if we resist them, having to kill masses of us, flash mobs. I mean, people think David Icke is weird or off the charts. If you read what DARPA and the Pentagon and their head futurist, Mr. Marshall, are saying, it's all even stranger than David Icke.
Oh yeah, I mean, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than any of us have got yet. But the thing is, Alex, as you were saying, as I was and I was pointing out, the infinite consciousness is all possibility. So expressing your uniqueness, your maverick, your unique spin on life is actually expressing the infinite consciousness.
And that changes the controlled paradigm. So we're taking it over cell by cell.
Exactly. So when you talk, as you just have, about those documents and how the tanks and everyone becoming a hive mind, they can only create a hive mind. They can't get to consciousness, you see. It's vibrating too quickly. It's too powerful for them anyway. Their arena is the body-computer decoding system. And they can only put us in a hive mind by locking us in that level of reality. Now, they've done it for vast numbers of people, but this awakening is literally breaking the spell.
It's a massive revolution.
Yes, it is.